Hey, it's Coach Monica, and welcome back. And let's talk about one of the biggest excuses that is keeping you stuck after 40. You've all said it. My metabolism is broken. My metabolism is shot. I can't lose weight because my metabolism is too slow. Stop. Just stop it. Your metabolism is not broken or slow or shot. It's overstressed, it's under recovered, it's underutilized. And today I'm giving you the real science on what's really happening to your body after 40 and what you can do about that. Men, before you think this doesn't apply to you, your testosterone is dropping, your belly fat is increasing, and your muscle mass is disappearing, just like women. This conversation includes you, so listen up. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why eating less is often the wrong answer, why your approach needs to change after 40, and what actually works to rebuild your metabolic engine. Stay tuned. So, we're going to start with the truth because I like the truth. In this podcast, we talk about the real truth. Your metabolism probably isn't broken. In fact, it isn't broken. It's just different than when you were younger and you're still trying to use strategies you used then on an older body, like skipping meals, eating less, um, running, um, taking, I don't know, some kind of pill to help you suppress your appetite, things like that. But what is metabolism really? What truly is it? We talked about this a little bit in our last episode, but we're going to break down metabolism a lot deeper today. It's simply the rate at which your body burns calories to keep you alive. There it is. There it is. It keeps you alive. Your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your brain thinking, your muscles moving, all requires energy, aka metabolism. Your metabolism has four main components. First, your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR. These are the calories that you burn just to exist, just because you're you. It accounts for about 60 to 70% of your total daily burn. Second is your thermic effect of food, the energy it takes to digest what you eat, which is why it's super important that you eat relatively healthy about 80 to 90% of the time. Yeah. Second is, the third is your exercise activity, your workouts, your movement. And fourth is your non exercise activity, thermogenesis, or your NEAT. This is all the movement that you do that isn't a formal exercise. Walking to the car, walking in the parking lot, walking upstairs, grabbing groceries. Those are all things that are non exercise activities. But here's what changes after 40. Here's the kind of the big piece here that we want to think about. All four of these components can decline if you let them. If you let them. Your BMR drops because you lose muscle mass. Remember, muscle is metabolically expensive tissue. It's currency. It's longevity. The less muscle equals a lower BMR. The thermic effect of food can decrease if you're eating less protein and more processed foods, which is what we typically have in the American diet specifically is more processed foods, and the protein gets less and less and less. The prize part of that intake. Yeah. Your exercise activity might decrease because life gets busier. That's what we would like to believe. And we've talked about this on previous episodes that having an ABC plan would then prevent that, right? If we have our ABC plan, we're going to always make sure we're doing something focused around our fitness, right? And your NEAT, your daily movement, often plummets because you're sitting more and moving less. We are stuck at desk, a lot of us, if not most of us, in the American culture, sitting at a desk doing some type of work. Those who are privileged enough to have a job where they have to move throughout the day, they don't realize how blessed they are to get to move and keep their energy going, their NEAT and their BMR, all of these things that are uh, happening for them simultaneously because they have jobs that allow them to move. So, no complaining, guys and gals who are out there moving in their jobs. It is us who sit at a desk that we need to be afraid. Yeah, we're the ones that need to really be rethinking our movement strategy. So here's the key though. These changes aren't going to like happen by default. They're largely under your control. Why does fat loss feel harder after 40? It's because your metabolism, it's not because your metabolism is broken. It's because you're fighting against multiple factors at once. Hormonal changes, muscle loss, increased stress, poor sleep, and often years of yo yo dieting that's taught your body how to store fat. You literally, when you're yo yo dieting, you're telling your body it's okay, store, store, store. Oh, and by the way, I don't move that much. So even the stuff that you're storing, I don't burn it off because I don't move a lot. So the storage is going to accelerate because the body is under stress, it's under attack. It is literally feels it's under attack. When all these conditions are happening at once, no movement, poor diet, no sleep, or very less or very deprived, sleep deprivation, stress from work or family or combination, very little intake in terms of food, or you're intentionally yo yo dieting because you want to get small, like we talked about in our last episode about being skinny, okay? You're telling your body, hey, I don't need muscle. I need you to store fat. And when I get more fat, you're going to slow everything down and you're going to put all of my organs under stress and under some type of threat. So, yeah, it's okay. Come on, guys. We cannot go down that road. We cannot go down that road. This is not how we want to live our latter days of our life, right? Your body isn't betraying you, it's adapting to the signals that you've been sending it. If you've been under eating or over exercising for years, your body has learned to function on less. If you've been sedentary, aka you sit a lot, your body has adapted and needs less energy. But the good news is, and there is good news in all of this, your body is also incredibly adaptable to the other direction. Meaning it's not too late to change. If what I've already talked about so far describes you, you can change that. Give it the right signals and it will respond. That means that you change the habits that you are doing in your lifestyle to incorporating movement and to incorporating exercise, to incorporating healthier foods, being more thoughtful and intentional with your habits. And I guarantee you, your body will adapt. It will go in the other direction. That's good news. Isn't that wonderful that we get to do that? That our body is so magnificently smart enough to do that. So, the real culprits and what's really slowing down your metabolism after 40, the absolute biggest culprit is muscle loss. And I cannot emphasize this enough. And I have done so throughout this entire season of this podcast. Every decade after 30, as I explained in our last episode, you lose 3 to 8% of your muscle mass. Astonishing. It's just like, it blows my mind. That number may not sound like a huge number, but when it compounds, it's huge. After 40, this accelerates. Every pound of muscle you lose can take 6 to 7 calories per day with it. Losing 10 pounds of muscle over a decade, you're burning 60 to 70 fewer calories a day. So you're literally slowing down the opportunity of burning fat because of the muscle that you're losing at the rate in which you're losing it. Yeah. And this is why you can eat the same amount of food in one decade and not in a subsequent decade. It's not that your metabolism is being broken. It's your muscle mass is depleting. Muscle will trump fat all day long. Yeah. It will be superior to fat all day long. And fat is the real culprit and the real enemy here. Of course, muscle loss being the reason that fat gets to kind of win the game, if you will, is because of the muscle loss. So, this is why it's so important that you maintain a level of resistance training in your lifestyle. By far, if you do nothing else, of course, I want you to do other things, but if you do nothing else, I want you to do resistance training for sure. The more muscle you lose, the more room fat gets to be fat. So we've got to combat that by building muscle so fat doesn't even have a chance to sneak in, store, live. And I'm talking to both men and women here, and live in our bodies and basically put us at a decline way faster than our bodies should be as we age. Then there's stress and sleep, right? As we get older, and especially if you're still a working professional, your life at work could be even more stressful because you have more responsibilities. You may be managing a team, projects, multi-million dollar equipment, whatever it is that you do, and you probably take that stress home, or you're not managing it well because you may not have an outlet like resistance training or some form of exercise. Therefore, your sleep is impacted. And sleep being kind of like next to protein and muscle building, critical. Sleep is critical. We need recovery, and that's when you get it. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, another hormone, which promotes fat storage. It gets in there and it just says, yeah, we're, along with the cortisol and the insulin resistance and all these other declines of hormonal declines that is happening, what fat gets to just be jolly and happy, just storing all kinds of places, especially around the midsection. Yeah. Poor sleep disrupts hormones that control hunger and satiation. When you're stressed and sleep deprived, your body fights fat loss and promotes fat storage. Period. And here's a big one that nobody talks about. NEAT, what I just described earlier, declines the non exercise activity thermogenesis. It's all the movement you do that isn't formal exercise. So, fidgeting, walking to the coffee machine, taking the stairs, parking farther away, this can account for 280 calories per day. But if you don't do those things, you don't get those calorie burns. Yeah? But what happens after 40? We get a little more sedentary, as I just mentioned. You drive instead of walk. If you're not in a location where you can walk to work or bike to work, you're driving, you're commuting, so you're sitting. You take elevators instead of stairs because we don't have time to walk upstairs or downstairs. You sit at a desk for 8+ hours a day. You may sit at work and then you go home and you sit at home and watch Netflix or your favorite TV show after work. So, how many hours in a day are you actually sitting? It could be well over 8 hours. OMG. The hips, the glutes, the circulation, all of these things are impacted by sitting so long. Yeah? Your NEAT plummets, and with it, your daily calorie burn. Therefore, if you're not exercising, you're not moving, you're sitting longer, you are burning nilch. Yeah? Now, men, let me speak to you specifically. Okay? Your testosterone starts declining around age 30. That's about 1% per year. Lower testosterone means less muscle mass, more belly fat, lower energy, and reduced motivation to exercise. Testosterone has a lot more to do with the body itself than just sexual health. I'm no sexual health expert, so I'm not going to speak on it specifically. But what I can say is testosterone for men and for women is important for so many functions outside of sexual health. And I'm going to leave it there. You might notice that it's harder to build muscle, men, easier to gain fat around your midsection, and your recovery from workouts take longer if you're working out. So this is not just an aging thing. This isn't aging. It's just not. These are hormonal declines affecting your metabolism. Yeah. So men, your metabolism is affected as well. Women, your estrogen declines affects everything. Lower estrogen means you store more fat around your waist instead of your hips and thighs. It means you become more insulin resistant, making it harder to process carbs. It means your body composition shifts towards more fat and less muscle, even if your weight stays the same. Have you ever thought about that? It's like, I'm I'm about the same weight, but why do I look proportionately different? Why did my shape change so drastically? Because now the fat distribution is all wonky. Yeah. Where you used to not have fat on your arms, now the back of your arms are heavier than the chicken that you made last night. Your belly is poking out and rounded and have maybe, 3 sections to it now, whereas it never did that before. So yeah, your body composition will definitely change as your estrogen declines and all your other hormones are out of whack as well. So when you but this is what most people do wrong when all of these things are occurring in our bodies. They try to fix these problems by eating less and doing more cardio. And that is exactly backward. This is not the approach you want to take. When you severely restrict your calories, especially while doing excessive cardio or a lot of cardio, you signal to your body that food is scarce and energy demands are high. Yeah, you just made the whole situation worse by taking that approach because you're burning way more calories and less food to feed that calorie burn in a more optimized way. So your body responds by slowing down your metabolism and breaking down muscle for fuel because, hey, where else is it going to get food, right? You're not feeding it a whole lot of fuel. So it's going to find something to munch on and it's going to be your muscle. And then without the muscle, what happens? You're going to store the food that you are eating as fat. So you think you're trying to combat something when in essence you're setting your body up for failure. And I just think most people don't consider that you have that you have a body to maintain outside of weight gain or weight loss. Like your body itself needs calories to breathe, to exist, to function. Brain, lungs, heart, stomach, muscle, bone, your skin even is a living organism. So how are we not considering all those other things? Because we're micro focused on the wrong things. Because you may lose weight initially if you did take that approach, honestly, but you're losing muscle along with any fat. So any fat that you are losing, your muscles also losing. And when you inevitably can't maintain that extreme restriction, you gain all that weight back. So you just did all that for absolutely no reason. But now you have less muscle, slower metabolism than when you started. Yay. Exciting, right? Not so much. Not so much. But let's talk about what really works instead of that approach. First, you've got to build and maintain muscle, right? And this is a non-negotiable. This is so non-negotiable because strength training 2 to 3 times per week and focusing on compound movements that work multiple muscle groups like squats, deadlifts, rows, presses. This is going to give you that metabolic engine that we need after 40. Period. There is no and XYZ. No, this is our number one thing that we should be thinking about doing. Second, and you know what's coming next, eat that protein. You've got to eat enough protein because it's your metabolic food. After 40, you need more protein than you did when you were in your 20s. Not less, but more. We have to aim for about 1 gram per pound of body weight because protein has the highest thermic effect of all the macros or macronutrients. It takes energy to digest and to use. Plus, you need it to build and maintain your muscles. So, the protein definitely helps with all, like a ton of other functions outside of muscle building, but especially muscle building. Yeah. Third, we cannot undereat, people. This is where most people go wrong. Severe caloric restrictions slow your metabolism down. Instead, eat a moderate deficient if you need to lose fat. And I can certainly show you that if you message me on how to approach that. If you're focused on body recomposition, your body needs the fuel to function optimally. And fourth, prioritize sleep. Cannot stress that enough. We can't keep going years and years and years and years on a little bit of sleep, day in and day out, and think that somehow, magically, our bodies are just doing great, right? No, we're really, and I'm personally guilty of this, and it's not because I personally intentionally not want to sleep. Because trust me, I would love 8 hours of sleep every day, but sometimes sleep needs to be regulated through intentionality, through ritual, through routine, right? Meaning that trying to go to bed at the same time every night, maybe taking some type of herbal tea that helps relax the mind and the body, making sure that everything that we have to get done for the next day is already done and we can literally relax. So, sleeping is very, very, very difficult for some of us, me being one of them. And I understand. However, when we're not stopping to see that we need to try to attempt to change that sleep habit, then we're just, we're not doing our best, our very best with that particular thing. I think it's just a matter of, again, being very intentional. And I can say over the last year, especially with my relocation, I've been able to sleep a lot better. And I'm making sleep a priority, meaning I'm intentionally looking at my sleep habits day in and day out and week after week to make sure that I'm trying to do that. So this is what I would definitely encourage you to do as well, is prioritize your sleep and your stress management. Poor sleep and chronic stress will sabotage every effort you make. Absolutely. And aiming for 7 and 8 hours of quality sleep and finding a way to manage your stress at work that works for your lifestyle is so important. Again, it is really what you need to be attempting to do. And lastly, increase your daily movement. I mean, think about what I just said earlier about you're sitting at work for 8 hours and then you go home and sit again. If you're not active and you're not in, either in the gym or at home gym, or you have some level of activity, you're probably sedentary. And again, this isn't about formal exercise. If you just simply walked for 30 minutes a day, just walking, that's better than not moving at all, because your body will absolutely love you for that. Take the stairs, park farther away, have walk meetings at work. You can have a group. Hey, let's walk at lunch for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, eat for 45 and go walk for 15 minutes. Set reminders to stand up every hour and move. Go take a walk down the hall and come back. There's ways that you can incorporate movement throughout your day that will break up the sedentary monotony of your body being in this fixed position for hours on end. Trust me, your body will absolutely love you for it. So here's the metabolism revival formula: muscle plus movement plus protein plus sleep plus consistency equals longevity, fitter, healthier, longer, stronger life. Yeah? And notice what's not in that formula: extreme calorie restrictions, excessive cardio, complicated meal plans, and expensive supplements. So stop trying to force your body to be restricted and be punished, if you will. And I would say punishment is not doing what you could be doing, right? Start supporting your body with strength, fuel, and recovery. Because the goal shouldn't be that we have the metabolism of a 20-year-old. Yeah, because we're not going to. The goal is to have the best metabolism possible for your current age and circumstances. And that's absolutely achievable with the right approach. So, all right, here are three things I need you to do this week to start rebuilding your metabolic engine, because you know on this podcast, we always have action steps that you can take into your life. First thing I want you to do is calculate your protein needs and hit that target every day this week. And I've asked you to do this in the past, but I want to ask you to do it again. Take your body weight, aim for that many grams of protein. So, for instance, if you weigh 150 pounds, I want you to eat 150 grams of protein. I know it's asking a lot, but we're only doing this for a week, okay? I want you to spread it across all three of your meals, so that should be around 30 to 40 grams at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your metabolism will thank you. And this is just helping you get an idea of what it's like to be intentional about your protein intake, okay? Secondly, I want you to add 2,000 extra steps to your daily routine. That's not a whole lot, but you can get those extra steps with, like I said earlier, park farther away, take the stairs instead of the elevator, walk while you're on your phone calls, walk at your desk. You can even get a little treadmill thingy and put it on your desk if that would help. But this will boost your NEAT and add about 100 to 200 calories, extra calories to your day without you doing any actual workouts. Okay. And the third thing I would like for you to do this week is do one strength training session. In our last episode, I asked you to do two. I'm asking you to do one, okay? Even if it's just for 20 minutes. Focus on compound moves: squats, push ups, rows, overhead lifts, bicep, tricep curls. If you don't know where to start to do, just do body weight exercises, right? The goal is to send the signal to your body that you need muscle mass. So every rep is going to count. And if you need support with a starter workout at wherever level you are at, I'd be happy to give you that. Just message me. I'd be happy to help you with that. Your metabolism isn't broken. Again, I'm going to reiterate that. It's just waiting for the right signals. Give it the muscle building stimulus, the adequate fuel, good food, protein, and consistent movement, strength training, and actual movement every day. And that's how you rebuild your metabolic engine after 40. And that brings us to the end of season one of this podcast, Sick of Starting Over. We've covered everything from why fitness feels harder after 40 to building your longevity runway with systems that actually work. If these episodes have resonated with you, I'm so happy to know that. Please give me your feedback in the comments. If you're tired of the restart cycle and you're ready to build something sustainable, I want you to know that this is just the beginning. I've got courses that dive deeper into these concepts, fitness training programs designed specifically for adults over 40, and workshops that will transform how you approach your health and longevity. And here's what I'm so most excited about in 2027. I'm launching something completely new that's going to revolutionize how busy adults build and maintain their health. I can't share it yet. I know you're kind of curious, but it's coming. And I just hope you follow along as we roll these things out for 2027. And you know it's going to be built on everything we've talked about this season and more. The Plan ABC system, the longevity runway approach, and the end the restart cycles is all coming together in a way that's going to change lives. And I'm super excited about that. I mean, the reason I do this podcast and all the other things that I do is to really serve as a change agent and to make an impact in the lives of men and women over 40 because we've got to support each other. We've got lives to still live, right? And we want to live it with quality and vitality and with energy and excitement. So that's why I do what I do with this podcast as a medium and all the other things that we're doing within the MVP Fit for Life brand. If you want to stay connected and be first to know about new episodes, workshops, and what's coming in 2027, make sure you're following along on all our platforms. Thank you so much for joining me in season one. This has been, for me personally, an amazing experience. I hope that you found it amazing as well. I would love your feedback in the comments below to let me know what you thought of season one and what you were able to take away from season one in any of the episodes. What hit home for you? What made you think? What made you really wanted to make changes? If you made changes, what changes have you made in your life? I would love to hear back from you. Thank you just for being a part of this community of people who refuse to accept that feeling tired, weak, and unhealthy is just a part of aging. And it's not. Your longevity runway starts with the choices that you make today. Make them count. Until season two, keep building, keep growing, and remember, you're not just getting older, you're getting stronger. Thanks. I'm Coach Monica, and we will see you in season two. Bye.